Hey guys, it's your boy DD758 Sakafet, and today I'm going to be talking about Married at First Sight. Thank you for everyone in my chats. Don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I go live. Married at First Sight is getting better and better, but I going to save the best for last, which is Paige and Chris, because this couple is we really need to discuss this couple. I'll talk about Vincent and Brianna. I knew it would get to the point where Vincent and Brianna, like Vincent, he would get to the point where he doesn't like the stuff she's doing anymore. The little stuff she has been doing, he have been overlooking because of the support she gave him. But I knew it would have gotten to that point where he starts to tell her and let her know that what she's doing, he doesn't like it. And she's too nitpicky, like always nitpicking little stuff that he does. And it's going to cause a problem. So right now he's starting to stand up, put his foot down, and let her know that he now is just not into some of the little stuff she's been doing, she's been escaping with, and now he's seeing it. So, but I still think they will last. It's just that they just need to work on the communication and the communication skills, and I think they'll be okay. But so far, I like the fact that he's standing up for himself and he's communicating with her. Then we have Clara and Ryan. Clara is so blinded by love. Like she's looking for love. Too much. It's too much, Clara. Because Ryan is doing a lot of little stuff as well, which I'm seeing all the red flags, but apparently she's not seeing those red flags. Because when she came to the house, he's like, "Oh, I told you to use the doorbell." Like, and then they're like he wants to be in charge and she's overlooking all what he's doing because she's longing for love. He's never been in love. So that one is like you have to be very careful with that when a man have never been in love, because if he's never been in love, he's never experienced love. It will take him a long time to get to that point. He's never told no woman that he loved them, and she's longing for love. She's been in love a couple of times. I don't see it working. I don't see them working, but maybe I might be wrong. Let's go to my favorite couple. I Brie and Vincent was my favorite couple, but my favorite couple is Jacob and Haley, because that relationship to me is the real. It's real. Like all what's going on is just real. So he know he's not like she's not attracted to him, and she's not playing it off, and then he's seeing all the signs that she's not into him, and he's not playing it off. So and that he's an 80s guy. Shout out to the 80s. I was born in the 80s, but hello, Jacob, we're in 2021, so you're trying to try and change your wardrobe, change your frame, change the way you think because we're in 2021. People have moved on from the 80s. You can go back into it, but not so depth into it. But I like Haley because she's straightforward. She's not feeling him. And he's like, your mom is a Karen. Come on. Like some of the jokes he give, it just don't make no sense to me. You can't call you don't even know the girl's mother, you calling her mom a Karen. Oh, that's a Karen dress. How do you know what's a Karen dress? And he's like, everybody have a little Karen in them. I don't. So I don't know. The two of them, the relationship is real. We've seen the real problems, and then I don't think they will last. We have Virginia and Eric. Virginia and Eric, that whole situation is after the alcohol, then all the problems come out, because the only time the two of them can seem to agree is when she drinks and he drinks. When when they're normal, it's just not working out. So now Virginia, when Pastor Carl told her that, she's like, oh, she would fall asleep at her friend's home when she drink, and she has a bunch of friends she hung out with. And Pastor Carl told her there is no man that would accept that a woman can be at a male's friend's house, get drunk, and have sleep there, because for one, we know how men think, and Pastor Carl know how men think. If a man probably maybe likes her and wants to take advantage of her, he'll probably make an attempt to take advantage of her. So we know how men think. So Pastor Carl was right when he told her, no, that's not acceptable, that she wants to sleep at a male friend's house. None of this behavior is acceptable. She needs to slow down on the drinking, because that drinking business is just not the right way to go, the way she acts when she drinks. And he now, Eric, I think Eric will have a lot of issues with her. I don't think that marriage will work. Now, let's not just have a moment of silence, a moment of silence for Paige. Because we need to have a moment of silence for Paige. Paige. Paige started with this relationship and this marriage with Chris. From day one, Chris was not interested in Paige. He said she's not physically attractive. He doesn't like her. He wants a trophy wife. And to him, Paige is not a trophy wife to him. The dad was kind of throwing some lines out there. Seems like the dad is more interested, but it looks like he inherited his behavior from his dad. But this whole situation is just not good. So it went on when Pastor Carl came. Pastor Carl had the conversation with her, and she was, well, before that it transpired. It couldn't have happened. Like when they got back, when they left Vegas on the honeymoon, he went back to his place. She went back to his place. So they never met up. And then he's like, he wants space. Anytime somebody asks you for space, space can mean a lot of things. Space can mean they want to see somebody else. Space can mean they just want to be away from you. Most times when people ask for space, it's not a good idea because that means the relationship is not working. Pastor Carl questioned her, asked her a couple of questions about how the relationship is going. And she's like, well, what happened the first time in the relationship, the honeymoon, did they consummate the marriage? Yes, they did. Did you use protection? She's like, no. Oh God. I'm just lost for words. Because he's not physically attracted to you. He said he's spiritually attracted to you. In my opinion, spiritually attracted is just telling you the good word so he can get into her drawers. That's just my definition of spiritual attraction because I don't know what spiritual attraction is. And he is just manipulative. He's a liar. That man is every word you can call in the book because he's just not anything good. It was just for Paige. Paige is just longing for that type of husband, which Chris is not. And Pastor Carl kept on questioning her. She said about the kid he has on the way, and she explained all that to him. But all this went on, and then it got to the point like before all this happened, I was like, yes, 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 yes. Paige finally came to her senses. Paige is like, she's tired of this. She started arguing over the phone. She cussed. She let it out, and she's like, she's so done with this relationship because I was like, yo, I had my phone in my hand. I put my phone down and I started jumping for joy because I was so elated that Paige was done. I was happy. I was like, my prayers are answered. Paige prayers are answered. We're all happy that she's going to get out of the relationship. Then there comes sleazy Chris walking in. Pastor Carl had the conversation with him, asking him, he's never shown her that he loved her. Like, he's never shown her like she's worth anything. And all he's done is just basically it's just sex. And he's like, you know him already. He likes to avoid those kind of questions, which he avoided, which was the usual Chris. And she put the cushion between them, separated themselves. And she's like, you know, she's done with this. She was mad, she was angry. All Chris he just told a beautiful lie to her, in my opinion. And that beautiful lie was, I'm falling in love with you. And all that energy from the night before when she was angry, she was mad, she just was acting like she was just done with this. All that energy just went down. And she just looked like she probably had a climax when he said that in her head. Which to me made no sense. And this mental and physical abuse, just for a man that knows how to manipulate you, he know all the right things to say. And when he say all the right things, it's like you melt. So I am so done. I'm done with Paige. I am so done. I'm actually feeling real sorry for her Um, I hope ladies out there, I hope you ladies out there are just looking at this situation and don't take a page from that book. Because don't name your first daughter Paige. Don't, don't have nothing to do with Paige. Because I'm not saying that what she's going through, like she probably has maybe a mental or it can be a past, there can be a lot of stuff about the way she reacts and what goes on. But Paige, people just learn from this, and Paige, you really, 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 Paige, you just need to just get out of that marriage. He said he was filing the divorce. You should have just stuck to your energy and just get out. But then you just give in by just, I think I'm falling in love with you. That makes no sense to me. But anyways, I got my girl Kia with me. What's up, Kia?
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
What you want to talk about?
Always Paige and Chris are the topic. When Pastor Taylor took off his glasses several times, I said, it's serious when somebody take their glasses off. He was like, I cannot.
Oh my God.
Paige.
That. Let me hear where you want to start. Let's start. Let me hear where you want to start. Because I don't know where to start. I'm just lost, and I'm just so tired of Paige being a goody two shoe. She finally stood up for herself with all that energy. I was happy. I was so happy. And then at 1 minute, I looked at my phone and I wanted to throw my phone out the window or just break the television screen because I just couldn't believe what I just saw. Like that, I just couldn't believe that. But let me hear what you have to say about that because
Paige is that girl that's not gonna bust a grape. I heard what she was saying, but I knew she wasn't about that life. So when she was talking all that, you like, girl, all the rah-rahs, you're not about to, stand through. So as soon as he came through, she melted. And I knew it. I was like, Paige, you over there cussing. I'm going to put him on Front Street. As soon as he came there, she was sitting there looking like, I have nothing to say. She was talking when her and Pastor Cal was there. But as soon as Chris walked in there in that door, she was like done. And she was waiting for him. And what really upset me about her, after he said he wanted a divorce, and Pastor Cal asked her, did she want a divorce? Why are you still looking at Chris? He don't have an option right now. Pastor Cal asked, do you want a divorce? But if you notice, she never answered that question. So Paige, she lets people run her life. And it's just like, you don't have those options, girl.
But I started to wonder if maybe you think it's maybe a past experience for her, like maybe what she experienced maybe as growing up, or maybe it can be something she saw, like maybe that's how it must have been in her house that her mom basically was with her dad. I'm just speculating, and maybe she have been around that kind of environment and see how her mom and her dad grew up in the same house where probably her mom was very supportive to the dad through all what maybe the dad have done, or maybe it can be an aunt, it can be an uncle, but and then it's like she just doing the same. It's like inheriting. She just inheriting that same kind of behavior and being like she's committed to a marriage. We can all see she's committed to a marriage, but at what point do you realize that it's not working and you just need to just get out?
So I have to consider her age because I keep looking at her age and I try to look and say, okay,
Yeah, she's 26. Yeah.
Reach that point yet where you're just like, okay, I can't let people dictate how my life goes. So even when she was talking to Brie and them, she was asking like questions. It's just like she needs validation in order to move forward. So although she may be good in like corporate America and her job, she's not good with making personal decisions. And I agree, it probably is something that comes from her family where, some things that happened in the past and she's just not able to get over where she has to go and get validation. But yeah, and Chris knows that he can play on that. So she shouldn't leave anything in anyone's hands, even with Pastor Cal. Like, listen here, y'all messed me up. I'm done.
No shade to Pastor Cal, but that relationship is as bad as Pastor Cal's socks. Because when I saw them socks, those socks don't match his suit.
He said it. He was like, I've never just not wanted to push for a marriage. This right here, I thought he was gonna take her when he left. I was like, she's not safe there with him. You leaving her with Chris? Like, oh my God, like you need to be telling Paige, come on, Paige, we about to go.
Look, I got my girl Nana. What you got to say about that, Nana?
Hey, Kia. Man, Paige, my word. This girl, what I want to know from Paige is, what are you confused about? Because she said, I'm so confused as soon as he whispered in her ear. What are you confused about? He doesn't want you. He wants you for your body. What are you confused about? It's so frustrating watching this woman. It's so frustrating. And she looks crazy. She looks absolutely mad. And the fact that she doesn't take any responsibility whatsoever for her own heartache. You know, it's all about Chris. It's all about, if he does this, then I'll be okay. You know, I mean, how can you live your life like that? And granted, I agree with Kia. Maybe there's something to do with the age thing. Maybe she's and not necessarily just age, but emotional immaturity. Because this girl, my word, I just don't understand how you can be such a glutton for punishment. Because she just keeps coming back for she's just collecting red flags, like that's her hobby.
Yeah, the red flags are all over. Spiritually attracted, that's a red flag to me. You understand? I've never been spiritually attracted to somebody. The tattoos, when the ex, we had the same, like they had the same tattoos, that was another red flag. When he said that he told her that he wasn't attracted to her, that was another red flag. And regardless, I for the life of me, I don't know why Paige keep on having sex with that man.
Even Dr. Cal asked her, was like, what? And unprotected. So even that just show you her like mindset, because Pastor Cal was like, he went out of pastor, he was like, I'm your daddy now. If you didn't have a daddy father figure, let me just explain to you. So he was like, well, why did you have sex the first night? And you knew that, you know, something was off. Well, my husband said that, you know, he wanted to have sex. Everything was what Chris wanted, but he's doing everything that's disrespectful. Let's just call it what it is. He's been disrespectful from the first, before he even met her. Well, if she not pretty, this and that, and he was just throwing all these jabs before he even met her. So Chris came in wrong, and Paige just wants to be, I guess, loved, and she wants it so bad that she's willing to sacrifice.
Yes. He even told her friends on their wedding night, like when one of her friends was trying to gas her friend up and was like, you know, Paige is a trophy wife, she's this, she's that. And he was like, no, she's not. She's not a trophy wife. He was like, he basically said that she's basic, you know. And at that point, in fact, because I'm sure her girlfriend spoke to her, at that point, she should have just let him go. There's no point in continuing with in a relationship with somebody that doesn't value you from the get-go. But Paige is just, I think, honestly, like some people like to collect stamps and rare coins. She likes to collect red flags. She's just over here, like, okay, bring them.
Yeah, I agree with Dot Willie. I don't think she doesn't have a mind of her own. Like her capacity to think for herself, it's definitely not there. Like she's just so easily manipulated by Chris. And like I said, Chris says all he looks like he's already figured out and he knows all the right things to say. And I just hit, look, can somebody please tell me what Paige dog is? Like, where's that dog? Because that dog needs to just bite the hell out of Paige. Because you know a dog is really loyal. So maybe if the dog just bites her, maybe she might come to her senses, because if the dog is loyal to you and it bites you, you're loyal to Chris. Maybe the dog might put some sense into your head that, okay, if the dog can bite you, Chris can bite you. And that's exactly what Chris is doing. And Chris is just not doing not one thing right. Like Pastor Carl said, that when you see the process was going through, when he left and he went to his ex place to console her, which he didn't go and console her, we all know that. It was during the process he did that. During the process he did that. So that means he knew what he was doing. And he can't hide the fact that he didn't know what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. So why you not telling me like all what? Sometimes I even starting to wonder if that is scripted. Do you guys think it's scripted?
I don't think so, you know. I think they're actually perfect for each other. In a very perverse world, they're perfect for each other because he's a narcissist and she's an enabler. And so in that sort of situation, he feeds her what she needs and she feeds him what he needs as well. She responds to what he needs. And so I think in that kind in a very dysfunctional world, they belong together. But in a healthy environment, it's just completely wrong. It's yeah, it's not acceptable, and it's not going to end well for her because the scales of power usually tip towards the narcissist, not towards the enabler, or the empath for that matter. And I'm nobody's psychologist, but you know, just from observing various relationships, that's what I see. And if she doesn't grow herself a backbone, she's going to end up in a very, very, very precarious situation.
And I told you when I saw that, I say my prayers were answered because I was praying for Paige. I was like, my prayers are answered. You know what? She's getting out. She's walking away. I love you.
Because when I said I was in my
I was like, look, Kia, watch my reaction. I was like, I started feeling like Virginia. I felt like I needed to drink. That's how I started feeling. Because I just couldn't believe what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
I even called someone and asked them, did you know Paige and Chris are back together to find out if they knew about that? Somebody says, I just called some random person on my phone because I just couldn't believe what I just heard. I just couldn't believe it.
See, Paige is that friend that will, like I said, rant in real life, rant on the phone and tell you all these bad things, rah, rah, rah. And then the next day you see them walking in the mall holding hands. Paige is that friend. And that's why I knew it. I was like, see, Paige is talking all this. She, as soon as he whispered, and you notice that's a weak man. So again, I've already said Chris was weak because he know who to rah-rah to. Because when he was talking to Vincent about when Vincent asked him that same question, like, are you sure that's your baby? He didn't jump up, well, that's rude and disrespectful. But then when the other guy said something, he like, oh, because he thought, you know, he could intimidate him. And just Paige, he knows who to do. And when Dr. Cal wasn't disrespectful, but he was just like asking the direct questions. Don't try to go around the circle. That's not what I asked you. But you notice that he didn't get back with Paige until Dr. Cal left. And that's when he wanted to whisper, like, and he's always turn the cameras off because he don't want proof. He don't want us to be able to say what really happened. So he's a manipulator, a straight manipulator. And like Nana said, Paige is not going to win. You will never win against a narcissist. You can try until your edges fall off. You know, it's not going to work. You're never going to win.
Oh, I got Diali back there. What's up, Diali?
Good evening, panel. How is everyone?
We're good. How are you doing?
All right, Paige. Dee, I was like you. I just thought, do you not realize all this man wants to do is just dick you down when he's bored? I'm sorry to be crude, but that's all he wants. And she's not a bad-looking woman. She's not a bad-looking woman. I'm sorry.
She's not.
I think he's the ugly one, inside and out. He's the ugly one.
And I agree, Dee. Every week he just gets less and less attractive. I never thought he was attractive, but everything he does, it just makes him look. Even every week you just looking like, oh.
I'm sorry, Dee. Carry on.
All right, Kia, you know Stevie J from Love and Hip Hop?
Okay.
Don't you find he and Chris have a slight resemblance?
Yeah, cringy.
What does Stevie call himself? The whatever.
Sleazy.
Yeah.
Sleazy Stevie.
Stevie looks like a mouse, like his mouth.
Yeah, but I think
but like a rat. I also thought he looked like a rat.
But Stevie
like a rat.
Oh, hold on. What'd you say, Kia?
I said, but Stevie claimed his sleaziness. He just want to pretend like he's this church person and I'm this and I'm that. You like, dude, you are grimy. And I hope nobody dates you after this.
He makes my skin crawl. He makes my skin absolutely crawl. I don't know how, like you all have said, how can this woman let this man touch her, knowing everything he said to her? And then he whispers in her ear and she's all smiles like a dummy. I'm sorry. I felt sorry for her at the beginning, but this last one, I'm sorry. She has it coming because she's too dumb. She's too dumb. How can you be smiling with this man? The man don't even have not one avenues going on like he's something special.
But what I can when Pastor Carl asked her, why did she sleep with him for the very first time to consummate the marriage? She's like, well, he said that's what a wife should be doing, and that's what a wife should do, and then
He pressured her into that. He
yeah.
pressured her into that. She wasn't saying it, but her eyes were screaming victim. He pressured her into it. That's why Pastor Cal said with consent, and she had a delay. She had a couple seconds delay. He pressured her into it.
Go ahead,
I think Paige is a pick me girl. You know those girls that are they never feel like they were ever picked by anybody. She probably doesn't see herself as stereotypically beautiful, right? Even if she's a beautiful girl, she doesn't see herself in that way. And so she's like, pick me, pick me, pick me. And so when somebody finally put her with somebody else, she had to make it work, because for her, it has to work. And she's probably been in church her whole life, which there's nothing wrong with being in church. There's nothing wrong with being Christian, but there's certain rituals and practices that you're taught in church that make you, especially as you know, as a married woman, that will make you accept certain things that you're not supposed to accept, right? And it's not biblical. It's not actually Christian. It's more of, you know, whatever societal cultural thing that people have at that place. And I think that's what's going on with her. She feels like she needs to ride and die for this guy, you know, and that's not okay.
The man doesn't want her. The man doesn't want her, and I don't know what it's gonna take. Even if, you know, next week they showed a little clip where the baby mama and him come for a sit down. A sit down about what? About what? There is nothing he could say to me. The only thing he would get is a big slap in his face. You know, both hands. I'd backhand him so fast he would have flown out of that room. Flown out.
Look,
I know we shouldn't condone violence, but I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he needs a good slap.
Look, I know women. No, it's not. I'm not promoting any kind of violence, but I know women. Chris would have said. He would have said all what he said. He could have done all what he was doing. I know the first thing they would have done is grab a cast iron frying pan and hit him outside his head, because I think
broke him right over his head.
Because
he broke it over his head.
Paige, that mental abuse Paige is going through there, it's really, really, really disturbing for me. As a man, it's disturbing for me. Because I never knew they still had women that go through that kind of stuff. I never knew that.
Well, let's just know the root of it. Because again, Paige is 26. So although we're sitting here like, oh my gosh, you know, cringing, we have to look at it that this is reality. Like, you know, women are, like you said, pick me. And you don't know what happened in their background. And then women like men like Chris are preying on those type of women. So again, she has that complex. You know, I see a lot of the old me in her. And when people meet me now, they're like, oh, you about that life for real, for real. Like, oh, we're not about to do that. But at this time, Paige hasn't seen her self-worth. So hopefully when she read our comments, you know, when all this is said and done, she's going to probably need a lot of counseling just to get back. But we just have to consider there's a backstory to Paige while she's sitting there allowing all this. And just to add to what I said about the church, she's young. So people like to quote scriptures how they want to, because the Bible, it doesn't necessarily tell you. They'll pick out the parts that they want to pick and then justify why you're doing, you know, retarded stuff. That is not what God told you. You just doing it that makes you feel better, but God didn't tell you to go for chaos. This is chaos. So he's going to put you in a relationship where you've been looking crazy for the last 6 weeks or however long it's been. No.
Exactly. Exactly.
I do
And it's what
understand. I'm
older
sorry, I
women
do
teach you as
understand what you're
well.
saying that she's young.
And
I
she's
went
young.
through
I can see Paige, myself in Paige.
Me too. Yeah, I made some really foolish
that
choices in
every
my early
day.
20s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a man, I've made mistakes, but just not like that. I don't know, not like that. Paige,
Yeah, but Dee Dee, if you never had a man show you a positive, what it takes to be a man or how you should be treated, that's why it's so important for if a man is, if you don't have a father figure for other men to step in for that lady because it's not acceptable. And so when a guy knows that there's no male figure in that woman's life, he will run ragged. Like, certain dudes, if you know that she got 5 brothers that'll come beat you up, you're not going to be slapping her around. You're not going to do anything disrespectful. But if you know that this woman has nobody as a protector and you can do that stuff to her, because you see when she said her friends, I call my guy friends. Well, what you call your guy friends for? You can't, because you knew they were telling her the right thing.
yeah, you're right. I
Exactly.
think I retracted my statement. You're right.
Because I choose Paige, like I said.
but because look, you totally right. Because if Paige was my sister, I'd have been locked up right now. I'm telling you, I would have been locked up because he would have get the beating of his life.
Exactly. As soon
He
as
would.
you called and said he got a girl pregnant, you would have been like, you would have did the math in your head, Dee Dee, and you would have been like, okay, so hold on, y'all start interviewing on this date. So wait. Why is he there with you? Wait, and then he slept with you? You would have been on the first plane. Where are you at again, Dee Dee? You would have
Yeah. All I want is a phone number and an address. That's all I want. And I'm about to pull up because
Dee Dee, you would be locked
go
up for
ahead.
no reason at all. You'd be locked up for no reason at all because those kind of women, she would go right back to him while you're doing your sentence and say, "Oh, I love him. I love him." She would be back there. You'd be pointless. You're better off just,
Look,
getting her by her shoulders and shaking her and saying, "Good luck. You're gonna need it."
no.
Please.
Look,
She's too dumb, man.
I
She's
would
too
still
dumb.
make an attempt because when it's your sister is something, I grew up around women, so for me, I would still make an attempt. Maybe just pay a fine or something, but I would have surely do something to him because I would not let that slide. Like he's too much. He's way too much. Like it's just too much, and
Yeah,
he just keep on manipulating her over and over, and she's like a good Christian girl. To me, Paige is something I would want in a woman because
yeah.
she's so committed to a marriage that she's blinded by the mental abuse, she's blinded by his manipulation, she's blinded by he's saying all the right things when
Yeah.
he's all like spiritually attracted. So
But guess what?
he would talk to her about little godly stuff, you
She's
know.
been through this before. She's been through this before, and that's why she's prepared to do this, and she's prepared to be his ride or die for the marriage. I mean, this man disrespected her from the very first time he met her. I don't know if any of you lot saw when he saw her coming up to the altar, and he mouthed "F you"
Yeah.
something because he was horrified. He was horrified with her, and then he didn't want to kiss her. I mean, she, like you say, she's collecting red flags. She's not collecting red flags. She's seeing pink ones, green ones, yellow ones. She misses the red flags.
But a word of caution also to men, Didi. When you say that's the kind of woman that you would want, you don't want a woman with low self-esteem, a woman that's not wise, a woman that doesn't know who she is, a woman that doesn't respect herself, unless, well, I shouldn't say that's not what you don't want. I think it's important also to think about what kind of person you want to build a family with, as a man, because that's how your children are going to end up being. If that's what the mother of the home, the wife, whatever, brings into the home, that's how she's going to steer the ship.
No, well,
And
it all
so
depends. It
it's
all
it's
depends on
there's
it
a,
all.
there's a fine line between being submissive in the right way and being
A
a
sucker.
complete idiot, you know,
Yeah, but
and
Nana,
being foolish as opposed to wise.
it all depends on the spouse. If you have issue with a man like Chris, definitely it's that relationship is wrong. But if she's with another godly man, somebody who's like attracted to her, not spiritually attracted to her, but attracted to how she looks and loves her. Like Pastor Carl said, he never showed her that he adores her. He never made her feel like she's of any value. And Pastor Carl is right. But for me, if as a man looking from the outside looking in, she would be the woman I would try or want to have a relationship or a marriage with, because he's just abusing her kindness, he's abusing her religion, like he's just abusing everything about her. But if she find a man that is not like Chris and a man that maybe godly like her, maybe it might work.
I disagree with you. Kia, go on.
Let me disagree, D. So with Paige, everybody's not marriage material and everybody's not ready for marriage. So again, I don't know how they thought she was ready. So with a woman being the husband's helpmeet, sometimes your husband may not see something. And as the wife, if you're not willing to speak up, that's your family. So again, it's not that you're being disrespectful, but your husband does not see everything. So if she's so scared to speak up for herself, she's gonna let a lot of stuff fly. So how are you a good helpmate to your husband if you're everything that he says you're going along with? So I can see in any relationship that Paige is in that she's gonna go with the flow and like, okay, yeah, let's lose the house or let's whatever, and she has the brains because she's an accountant, but she will probably make bad decisions just because she wants to stay in the relationship. So, Paige, I'm ready.
You cannot have two weak links in a chain. You cannot have two weak links in a chain. She's weak. She's weak. He's a typical, street boy that thinks he's a man that cannot even keep a Subway business going. Trying to talk his big chat and everything like that. The silly girl that's pregnant to him, the silly woman that's pregnant to him, he'll be telling her the same lie. I would love to know what he's really told her.
Listen,
absolutely.
GD, going to be sister wives is going to happen because he's probably setting up to be sister wives. Because why are you coming to me? I was like, Chris is on some straight shenanigans. They probably both going to accept it, and they're going to all be all entangled for the next probably 3 years.
Yeah, he's in the middle of the bed next week. He's in the middle of the bed. One is either side, the other one is either side, or they're going to rotate the days. Who's going to sleep with him on what days?
Exactly.
Paige don't have no shame. Exactly. I'm sorry. I felt sorry for her. She's got no shame. She's got no decency about her. She's young. I will give her that pass because we all been 26 at one point. But come on, for a good Christian girl is gonna say, no, my body's for my husband, my body's to be respected. This man is not respecting her. This man doesn't even want to kiss her in her face. He said that on international TV.
Yeah.
And I think there's something that my dad used to tell us when we were younger, that you can be clever but not wise, but it's important to pray for wisdom, and she strikes me as that kind of person. She's very clever, she has this high flying job. She's done well for herself for someone that's 26, but she lacks wisdom. And you can't be the center or the heart of a family and have a successful family if you don't have wisdom as a woman. I'm sorry, that's just, it might sound like an old-fashioned way of thinking, but that's as far as I'm concerned.
It's not old-fashioned. You're absolutely right, Nana. You're absolutely right. You can be the most intelligent person, have diplomas, degrees, but you can be a fiction realistically, and she is. I'm sorry to curse, but she's not intelligent, and I'm sorry. If she was doing my accounts, I'd be very worried right now because her decision making is terrible. Terrible.
Well, she good with numbers.
She's good with numbers, but she's not wise. She lacks wisdom.
What numbers can she
doesn't have a backbone.
This woman ain't got no. She ain't good with numbers. How can she be good with numbers? You can't see that boy have one sneakers to his name. He has one good sneakers. I mean, he wore a pink sneakers the other week. I ain't sitting next to no man with no pink sneakers on.
Love will make us blind. Because if you look back, let's just be honest. If you look back, like I said, people just don't tell the truth. And I tell people all the time, I'll tell you, like, I had something that I be looking like, ooh, wee. So we've done some stuff that you just be like, okay, love will make you try to fix some stuff, like, like the little puzzle when you was a kid and you have to put the blocks in there. You'll keep trying to put that in there, trying to make it fit because you just so blinded. Love will make you blind. And until you finally get that aha moment, you're not gonna see it. No matter who comes, we can all show up at Paige's door right now. If she's not ready, she's like, this is going.
I get it. I get it. I went through the same thing, and it took my husband to really disrespect me for one last time. And I cycled all the way home, and I cried all the way home on my bike, and I prayed that I got off the road safely, because I thought that day I was going to be killed because I was so upset. But when I woke up and I come to my senses, when we spoke a couple of weeks later, I thanked him for treating me like that, because I finally woke up.
And that's what I just told a friend today, Dee. We were actually talking about the show prior to this. You know, sometimes it's that situation when you're in it, you just think that person is everything. And then when you finally get out, you're like, "Whoo, thank you, God, for saving me." But you didn't want to take that rescue when it was given to you because you just so blinded. And it's bad. It's embarrassing, actually, because you're like, whoa. Like, even my ex, I was like, I let him do what? Like, I must have forgot who I was. But yeah, once you get to that point, and that's what Paige is going to get, Dee, I'm with you. I'm praying that she gets there.
I don't know
what. I pray so hard, my knees are hurting. I'm praying for this woman. My knees are hurting.
Look, I honestly, I don't even know what to do or say about Paige anymore. I'm so done. I'm done. My heart is hurting. I feel like it's my sister or my friend. Like, I actually feel like I have a connection with Paige. That's how bad it is, because I'm just so tired. I don't even know what to say or do about that situation anymore, because she's so easy to swing.
She's dumb. She's not easy. She's dumb. She's too dumb. I'm sorry. You can't call this woman. She's dumb. She's dumb. She's dumb as rocks. I've got a son. I'm raising a boy, and I teach my son respect. And when I see him step out of his zone and I feel he's talking to his girlfriend a little disrespectful, I said, "You're lucky you don't meet anybody like me. You would know about it. You would know about it, because I would not be calling you or talking to you again." It's about respect. You can't just, think, "Oh, poor Paige, poor Paige." The mom, his own mom, stood there while the stepfather was literally saying all these vile things to this man. Stood there, and she said nothing. Stood there with a silly smile and a bad wig.
Look, I got Tanya backstage. What's up, Tanya?
Hey, what am I missing?
Hey, Tanya.
We're talking about Paige and Chris.
Oh my gosh, that's a mess.
Yeah, the two of them.
I would have walked away the first day.
Exactly.
She's crazy for putting up with him. Why did he get into that right after getting out of the relationship?
Exactly. Yeah. But what do you think about Virginia and Eric, Tanya?
I think that Virginia, she might not be addicted to alcohol, but she's definitely got alcoholic tendencies. And that she keeps, either she doesn't have a coping skills to deal with what she's doing, so she keeps having to drink to feel like she can go through with this, or something's going on there, because she's not doing it sober.
Yeah, because
I'm sorry. I think she drinks because her husband is wooden.
He's wooden.
He's like a human mannequin. He's so boring.
Well, for me, this situation, like Tanya said, she might not be an alcoholic, but then I think she's just drinking to just get away from the world. Because when she said she needs space every now and then, the man is a pilot. The man he's not going to be around all the time. So you would have time to yourself. And
she'll have plenty of time to herself.
Yeah, she'll have plenty of time to herself, but then she wants to talk about, she'll still need time to herself and stuff like this. Go ahead.
But she drinks Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then she's back at it again.
Right.
Okay, so I'm reading the comments. So I agree with Susan, where she wasn't ready to be married. So even in the real world, you guys did all this extensive research and extensive counseling. In the real world, you go get premarital counseling and they tell you it's not going to work. maybe you shouldn't get married. So in this case, all the things that Virginia is saying, it's like, this is not her first time saying it. You want to stay out and fall asleep over someone's couch. You mad because he wants you to text him before when you get there. That's like that's control. So I think she has some daddy issues or somebody controlled her in the past, but no, she's not ready because she don't even know the rules. She probably never even witnessed a healthy marriage. Because she just like, well, no. And I think they paired poor Eric with her thinking he could be her patient, calm in person. But that's a lot of work. You put a lot of work on that man.
But you know what Pastor Carl tell her? When she said that she have a lot of male friends and she wants to stay at like sleep over at the house, he told her no. He told her he don't agree with what she just said. He don't agree with that, and he has a wife, and he will not allow his wife to do that. And I agree with him 100% because Pastor Carl, we know how men think. You might
It
think
should be a respect thing.
Right.
She should respect him enough not to be hanging around with these men and drinking around them and stuff. I mean, obviously they haven't been around each other enough to build up trust enough for her to even think about doing something like that.
But even when she's not drinking, or we think she's not drinking, she's always just like, you know. So even when Pastor Cal was talking to her, she was still like, oh, well, like it didn't click for her.
Yes.
So it's just like
get it.
somebody something. It still didn't make sense because, like, you know, I'm watching like, okay, if you go somewhere, you tell your spouse that you made it there. It's a safety issue because he cares about you. He's your protector, and she didn't get that. Even with the sleeping on the couch, that's your protector. She's probably still at home somewhere trying to figure out what the Pastor Cal said.
She's another one who's dumb as rocks.
But don't you notice every time they get along is when both of them drink?
And Eric is not even a drinker because you see he took that drink, he was in there like slurring, and I was like, what?
Yeah, he's like
trying to keep his eyes open.
The only time they get along is when both of them drink. When you see he's sober and she's drinking.
He can't drink to save his life. He can't. He's just trying to keep up with this chick. He's over there like, well, you know, this is what she did. She said that's her lifestyle. She said that's what she does. You know, like I was telling Didi the other day, there are certain hobbies that human beings have in every society. You play golf, you play tennis, you swim, I don't know, you collect stamps, you know, if you're inclined that way. Drinking is not a hobby. Not. You can't tell somebody, well, you need to get into the lifestyle.
You remember when Vincent said he's chocolate wasted because they was trying to have a conversation with him. He was like, huh?
The man was still hungover from the night before. It's like, anyway. But what do you think about Jacob and Haley though? Jacob and Haley, that's my favorite couple because they just keep it real.
Lost cause.
I like those guys.
Bro, y'all see the unfiltered prior because I think Haley was kind of flirting with the pilot over there because she was just like, oh, we get along.
He hates Jacob. She hates him.
Yeah. For me, I cannot see them. I cannot see that marriage going to last. But the only thing I like about that relationship and that marriage is it's so real. It's not like the other relationships. Like Virginia and Eric, they acting like everything is going nice, everything is going good, but then they have issues. But Haley would just tell him, she don't like this, she don't like that, she's not happy with this.
Because she can't she hates her husband. She hates him.
But not
absolutely hates him. I'm telling you, this is about to be an ID channel situation.
Oh my goodness.
Nah. When she went to his house, all just the weird stuff. She was just like, and how can you be attracted to somebody? Like I said, your house, you're all, chic, and you got this other thing going on. Then you go in there and you're stuck in the 80s. Like literally, you can like the 80s, but you're a grown man with lights above your door.
When he went to a place, he looked at the dress. He's like, "That's a Karen's dress." You think he gives and his jokes are so wrong. Like he always tries to be funny, and it don't work. And he's saying that your mom is a Karen. Like nobody want to hear that.
So you know who Jacob is? He was bad for this match. Jacob is the guy that you accidentally fall in love with, that you might just be, friends with for a long time, and you like, you know what, he's a nice guy. But in this case, she just like, okay, it's been day 2, day 3. This guy is weird. So he's maybe they thought he was gonna grow on her, but yeah, he's just too old. And I don't even think he sensed that he's that weird because he'll like do the weird jokes, and she's like, "Bring it back, bring it back."
I think she did try at the beginning though, but I think it's getting old to her too. I think she tried literally to let put her wall down a little bit and let him in, but he's too weird for her.
Yeah, he's weird. He's stuck. He's just stuck in the 80s,
You
and
need to go to
he
a
just
convention.
and he just have a bunch of corny jokes that don't make no sense.
Right.
A bunch of corny jokes, always giving a corny joke here and there. Like I'll be like, okay, should I laugh now? That's the first time in my life I have to wonder, like, what should I do? Should I laugh? Should I smile? Like those jokes so corny, and then what he's not realizing, it's irritating her, and he keeps pushing it and pushing it and pushing it up until she has to say something or react to it in a way that she don't want to talk to him anymore.
Yeah.
And what I can understand is what went wrong on the first night of consummation, because something must have gone horribly wrong, because to me maybe that would have break the ice.
So she kind of on the unfiltered didn't touch on it, but she just basically said that she tried to force get close with him, and he's just too weird for her.
And then the fact that she had to drink to do it, that says a lot.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
He was in the situation I was telling my friend earlier. I said, when you go to the hotel, when you have to black out curtains, I said she probably had to close the blackout curtains, turn off all the lights, and pretend like, okay.
And it was still bad.
No, again, don't speak.
She was probably giving. She
was probably what?
Oh, sorry. She was probably giving him instructions and he wasn't following them.
I don't think look, to be honest, as a guy, I can give you my opinion. I think that probably lasted 1 second, and that's what I think went wrong. That's just my opinion.
That's why she's unhappy.
Yeah, I don't think he lasted long as she probably expected. And he probably was just not doing all the right stuff she probably wanted. And then she was like, no. Because for me, that should have break the ice.
Well, it's pretty sad when you get...
In 1980.
Say again?
He was thinking about Back to the Future in 1980. That's why I never knew.
It's pretty sad when you both drink to do it, and then you still don't like anything about it.
Good one, Tanya. Because you actually drink to do it, and then it still didn't work out. Like
you still ain't liking it.
Yeah, that.
He just already didn't like him, and then when, like you said, if it wasn't good, that just added to it. Just like, what, it's not worth even, trying to make this work at this point.
Yeah, and then he accuses her of having a boyfriend. I'm sure she was like, I wish I did have another boyfriend.
So let me give you another point. So I was talking to my sister earlier about this too, and we was talking about, because she was single for 7 years. So I was like, after 7 years, hopefully you was sliding something with, whatever. But 7 years, man, you end up with that. You're like,
Oh,
totally right.
Yeah. He's a true looker, isn't he? He's a true looker.
Now, what's about Bree and Vincent? What do you think about Bree and Vincent?
Red flag.
Yeah.
I'm happy standing up to her because I knew eventually it would have come. But then
you've been saying it all along, B, that he has some fire behind that. So I think he holds stuff because he did tell Pastor Cloud that he didn't want to really blow up on her, but she keeps throwing a little jabs. And
yes,
I think she's been, people in her family and friends have allowed it so long that she's oblivious that she's throwing jabs. Because I caught it when she said, "Oh, that's so Vincent."
What did she call him? What did she say?
He spilled the wine, and he was, he said, "Oh, I have it on my shirt," and she was like, "That's so Vincent." What's shade?
Oh. Yeah,
and he didn't like that. He didn't like that at one bit.
That wasn't kind.
She does belittle him.
But I'm
she does belittle him.
I'm
does
so
want
happy he checked her. I'm really happy he did that because he needs to stop doing that. Because
Yeah,
if you don't do that, she will just continue doing it, and it just won't work right. But
Is
I'm
she the
happy.
bossy one?
Yeah, well, yeah, she said she's bossy, but to me, she's controlling.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I think too. I'm just trying to catch up all of this in 1 week, so I'm
You got it.
having
You got it,
a
Tanya.
problem
Yeah,
with the
that's the
names.
bossy one. That's the bossy one.
Okay.
After
Yeah, that controlling is gonna get old real quick.
She's a little bit of a narcissist. I see the traits in her. She's a female narcissist, and he's catching it. He's catching it, and he really was losing it with her slowly.
Mm-hmm.
But I like him a lot because I find he has a lot. He seems like a real nice guy. He seems like a guy that would go all out for her. But then she really needs to get out
Yeah.
of that frame where her and I think her family have enabled her for too long, like make her think, okay, probably she would do something when she was growing up as a kid, and they'll be like, oh, you bossy, you bossy, you bossy. So like they told her that so much that it's just stuck in her brain that she's bossy, but then you're not on your own anymore. You have a husband. You need to realize that you all have to try and work. The communication skills need to come in there. But she
Yeah.
needs to realize that she needs to stop and allow the man to be a little free. Like not just it's too much. Because after a while, I would not want to be in a relationship like that.
now this is
Everybody deserves to be themselves in a relationship. She can't
Exactly.
control who he is.
Exactly.
So you notice he left because, like I said, that anger probably was boiling, and this is new for him. And maybe this, like I said, I don't never advocate for people leaving. Once you marry, you go in the other room because they do have a 2-bedroom. But at this point, I think that's going to give her a wake up call. Like, okay, he's not playing these games because you keep throwing these shots and you want to play oblivious. Like that was cute. That wasn't cute. Oh, that's so Vincent.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's terrible.
But she'll see what he's made of, because the way she keeps saying that's so Vincent. His family told her that he has a very bad temper, and I think that's why he keeps walking away, because he knows what he's made of. And he said the same thing to the pastor. He said to him, I don't want to revenge, because he knows what. I don't know how his temper plays out. But he knows that he has a bad temper. But she just keeps pushing it. And she doesn't realize that in some instances, yes, your family they'll praise you for being bossy, and that works in your place of work, it works in your profession, but it doesn't work in a relationship.
Yes.
As a woman, you can't bring that kind of energy into a relationship with a man,
And if he has a temper, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's all right.
If he has a temper, and if she keeps pushing it, she's going to find out what his temper is, and she might not like it. Not saying that he would hit her or anything, because my husband has a temper, and when it gets to a certain point, he'll just leave rather than saying bad words or anything else, and he'll leave for an hour and come back, and then we'll talk about whatever happened. But he just has to take himself out of the situation. But, if she's not allowing him to do this and pushing him to his limit, it's not good, because some people just need to take themselves out of the situation, regroup, calm themselves down before they do and say things that they're going to regret later.
Yeah.
But let's just touch base on the last couple, Clara and Ryan. What do you think about that couple?
Well, we're going to talk about this next week, because that's a whole right there. I was deep diving in him. Ryan, oh my gosh, like I think somebody hurt him, because he's probably been in love. Pastor Cal was trying to explain what love is, and he's just like sitting there stiff. And for a living, that's what I do, is listen to word choices. So all his word choices was maybe, I'm trying, or I'll try. So it was nothing confident. So he's not there for it. So he's probably gonna break poor Clara's heart, because she's all in, and he's just like, well, she wants for sex. She was like, okay, you playing all these games. When we gonna get it in? And he's like, well, when we fall in love. I don't think he knows the definition.
I agree with Kia 100%. He's a very non-committal man. He's very non-committal. He knows how to sell himself to make himself look like he's the perfect guy, but he's a very non-committal person. And for somebody of his age to have never been in love and not even commit to wanting to go there with somebody, there's a problem. That's a huge problem. And yet she says that she's the kind of person that falls in love all the time, you know?
Nah. You don't think nobody had him at home in his room crying, listening to mixtapes? So, sorry, you was in love. You might not call it love, but if you was in your room.
You know that Boys to Men album? You know that one Boys to Men album? That
You know what kills me about Ryan? That hairstyle.
Like Wolverine.
That hairstyle, like, oh, I don't know, like, does he have a different hairstyle? Like, that thing just slick back. I'm starting to wonder, maybe is he related to the Gorilla Glue girl? Because it's like if you hit that or you try and shift that stays one place. You can go on a motorcycle, that thing just stays one place all the time. That don't.
That's glue.
But I think, yeah, but he comes off as controlling to me because she's longing for love that she's just not seeing. But I think he's very controlling.
But did you peep the part that she talked about when she came to his house? On the outside, it looked neat.
Yes.
So when she started digging in, she like, you got cabinets falling apart. Like you got, you still. So I think he likes to present a picture to the world. So I overanalyze it because I'm like, okay, so your house is an indication of how you run your life. You show a pretty picture, but deep inside there's some garbage going on or some stuff. So I think we're gonna have to watch for him because I think it's some more stuff going on with him.
Yeah,
you're very right. That it was a metaphor for how he is. Like he tries that whole slick thing and trying to be pretty. Absolutely, he tries to make the world think that he's perfect. When inside he's all kind of turbulence. That guy has some issues.
Maybe he's trying to fool himself.
I think he's a Jekyll and Hyde character.
You think he's what?
Trying to fool himself.
Okay.
Make himself think he's perfect when he knows he's not, coming across in a certain way and looking a certain way when he knows he's not.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming. And let's everybody make sure before you go to bed tonight, say a prayer for Paige. And do not take a page out of Paige book.
No, that's
please
right.
Do not take a page.
You need to type that in the remarks. Do not take
So, Diali, your last words? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to shout out?
Pastor Cal, please just give up. You're flogging a dead horse. Please stop now. Please.
Tanya.
Nothing. Just glad to be here today.
All
Bless
right.
everybody.
Thank you for coming, Tanya. Nana.
Man, I don't know. I think Paige just needs to find herself. If somebody out there has any kind of prayers, juju, whatever it is that you can help her with, help her, because that girl needs to find herself. But I've lost all kinds of patience. That's it.
Kia, shout out your channel and your Instagram.
Shout out my Kia Simone, just like it is on the screen, Kia Simone. And on Instagram, I'm author, Kia, Simone. And I'm just again, Dee, thank you for having me on the show because these topics are needed.
You're always welcome. And my last words, let me show you my last words are I am just tired of Paige. That's how I feel about Paige and Chris. I am just tired. I'm done.
Good one.
I am done. I am not. I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't know what to do anymore. Like I tell you, I just called a random person and I told a random person he didn't know about Paige and Chris. They were like, "What you talking about?" I was like, "Well, I'm just done." That's how done I was. I just calling random people, random phone numbers, and talking to them about Paige and Chris. Because Paige, if you need a sign from God, you got it. If you need some more signs, you will not get it. But I think God will keep on trying to help her. I honestly think so. But she will not. It look like the way she's going, if she ever find another man other than Chris, she's in a big trouble. Very
Yeah.
big trouble. But thank you guys. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And don't forget to leave a comment. But thank you, ladies. On 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Thank you, Didi.
All right.
Thank you, Didi,
1,
for having
2,
us.
3. Bye.
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 Oh my God.